Travel makes one modest. You see what a tiny place you occupy in the world. Here are a few things I learned from my travels. Bit of CASEY NEISTAT action right here. It's a beautiful day in Sydney, so I thought I'll just come out here and tell you guys what I learned from traveling 46 countries and all the lessons I learned. Hopefully it will mean something to you guys too. So the first thing I learned was true meaning of freedom. And you think like freedom, what is freedom to you? And I think everybody has their own way of thinking what freedom is. For me, it felt like from when I wake up and by the time I go to sleep, throughout the day, I only do things that I love. You know, I love exploring and meeting new people, so it was amazing. You know, traveling allows you to do that. And it made me realize that that's the ultimate freedom. It's not about whether do I have a lot more money or do I have an amazing job. The most important thing was that I'm free. A lot of us, I think, we are getting stuck into this rat race, and you know, having to go to work and buy the next bigger car, buy a bigger house, all that stuff that we don't really need, and that doesn't really make us happy. And I know it sounds cliche, but you know, for me, it was pretty easy to realize that, because when I was traveling, I noticed that that was the best time of my life. You know, I enjoyed it the most. Totally free. I wasn't spending much money. I wasn't like living luxury, but I had a great time because it was just, I was doing what I wanted to do. And I think that's why people love traveling. Mostly it's because they're doing what they want to do all the time. And then when they go back to normal life, you know, they don't like it because, oh shit, it's Monday again. Alright, next thing I learned was that it doesn't take much to be happy, you know? When I visited this place in Manila, in Philippines, I saw the way these people are living their life. And it's the slum, you know, it looks terrible, the living condition is unbelievable. You would not want anybody to live like that. They don't have a proper roof over their head. I don't know about food, and you know, it's not a great condition to live in. But they were all really happy, and they had this very positive, good attitude about themselves that I kind of looked and thought, wow, if they can be this happy, why can't I be this happy? And I think that's why the video is the most watched video on my channel, over 2 million views now. And I realized that I've been complaining about little things too much. I've been buying a lot of random shit. I've been buying a lot of clothes. I've been complaining about, you know, all these different things that didn't really matter at the end of the day at all. And then I already had an amazing life. Like living in this beautiful city already itself is a blessing, but a lot of people don't understand it, and they don't want to acknowledge it. I think people forget. I forget sometimes that I'm living in a beautiful, you know, beautiful city, and I have a great life. So it made me realize that I should be a lot happier than I was, and I was stressing myself out for nothing. I was chasing things that didn't really mean anything, you know. So because of the last number 1 and number 2 point that I mentioned already, altogether it made me realize what actually makes me happy. What do I really care about? And I realized that I can achieve that with not a lot of money. You know, if I make $30,000–$40,000 a year, that's enough for me to be happy, truly happy, and sustain my life. So I started looking into personal finance, how I can get passively and the income around $30,000–$40,000 a year. And obviously you can do that from the stock market pretty easily. You know, if you get 8 to 10%, if you have a certain amount of money invested, 250,000, something like that. So that gives you something to work towards, so you can work hard, save the money, invest it, and hopefully you don't have to work again. And I feel like true happiness comes from within for real. Like, you just need to know what you're into, what do you like to do. And for me it was freedom. Freedom is the most important thing, I think. If you have freedom, if you truly have freedom, so you only do what you really want to do, then you're going to be the happiest, because we are usually not happy when we do things that we don't like doing. And if you enjoy your life, it means you're enjoying what you do with your life the whole time, from when you wake up to when you sleep, right? I feel like if you take some time alone by yourself, when there's nobody to impress, nobody to show something to, you just do you. That's when you're gonna realize what you actually like, what are you actually into. So that was number 3. Check out this view though. Wow, it's so beautiful here. The other thing I learned was that there is no perfect country. I noticed that, I've been looking at the good and the bad at every country that I went to. And I feel like there is definitely no perfect country. Every country has its benefits and its, weak points, and there's definitely no one place that you can feel like this is the exact, the heaven, essentially. There is no heaven. Every country has its problems. So, I was looking at Australia, like, do I like this place? Do I want to live here, forever, and all that stuff? And I realized that, there's lots of good points about Australia. There's some bad points too. So as I was comparing it to, let's say I was comparing it to like Europe in general, I was looking at the weather, and like Australian weather is so much better than the weather in Europe. It's a fact, right? If you're chasing that one place that's gonna make you the happiest, I feel like for me there is none. I feel like they're all good and bad at the same time. So just enjoy the good and forget about the bad, essentially. It made me realize that I shouldn't complain about where I am and just enjoy what I'm doing where I am, which I am right now. And the last thing I learned, the countries that are least visited are the most fun, because people in those countries, I feel like they're a lot more welcoming. And the countries that are super famous and everybody goes there, you just feel like a tourist. Nobody really cares, and you don't really have amazing experiences. It's harder, and there's a lot more scams. And those countries that people say, oh, it's dangerous or it's not super popular to go, those are the ones that you have most interesting experiences. You meet locals that will be super nice to you, and I feel like there are so many good people in this world in comparison to the bad people. You have bad experiences, but in those countries that are least visited, you get the most interesting and authentic experiences, and you truly understand what it's like to travel. You truly understand how it's like for them to live like that and the way people live. Overall, I think traveling so much has been the most interesting thing that I've done in my life. And if I look at what I have achieved in my life, and I think understanding all these different cultures and being to these different countries, that's the most interesting thing that I want to take away with me when I die. And if I can share some of those with you, I want to make sure that you guys know what to expect into which countries you go, so you can also get inspired and go out there and travel the world. I really want everybody to understand other countries and other cultures, and a lot of times you realize that the place you're living is not so bad. I don't know where you are living. A lot of my audience is from Europe and US and Australia, but when you travel around and you see all these different living conditions, you realize that you've got it so good. You have amazing life, and everything is amazing. Just being able to breathe this amazing quality air, clean water, and good food, like this is it. It's jackpot. We don't really need anything else to be happy, and I don't understand why we put so much pressure on ourselves and compare ourselves to others. And find your own happiness and find your own goal and just go out there and achieve it. And I think that's the message for today. Anyway, that was a video I always want to make, the reasons I traveled and what I learned from traveling. So if you enjoyed it, like, share. If you agree, disagree, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. If you have also traveled and you learned something from your travels, you can tell me what you've learned in the comment section below, so other people can see, and hopefully we can all learn from each other. Alright, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.